Alright, here's everything that you need to build a RetroTV. This install is only going to be one channel. I had to record this audio separately because for some stupid reason I recorded the first one in slow motion. But you need a monitor. Next, anytime I bring it out here, you need a Raspberry Pi. Now I already installed Bullseye onto this one. I'm going to show you the SD card right there. I went ahead and just did a regular Bullseye install on that. Nothing special. Of course, you need cables and the adapter to power the Raspberry Pi, and an adapter for the monitor, and a VGA cable, and a power cable for the monitor, and speaker system, something to play the audio. Just that simple. So I'll go ahead and speed through setting all this up. Okay, I made a whole video once before, and I might implement parts of that video into this one, but I've found a lot of bugs and stuff that I had to fix on the fly, and eventually I just figured it'd be easier to make a new video. So, you saw me install the hardware a minute ago, just the basic hardware you need to function. Now, I'm going to try to log in to the TV. I saw it automatically connect, so there it is. We're good. I use my basic Pi username and the password I assigned. Ta-da! Okay. I'm going to bring my instructions over here. And the first thing you need to do, and this will take quite a while, so I will pause the recording and let it finish, is update and upgrade, because you should do this every time you install a brand new copy of Raspbian or any version of Linux. This one right here won't take too long, but this next one will. I think last time it took almost an hour. Yep. Let's see, do I have upgrade? And we will just let it run. And I'll resume recording whenever it's done. Alright, so that's done. Let's go ahead and run a quick cleanup script as the next step. Oh. And let's go ahead and configure our Raspberry Pi. Ta-da! First thing we do, enable VNC so we can actually log in. Log into the GUI. Yep. All right. Alright, before exiting we also need remote access to the GPIO pins. I don't know if this is needed or not, because technically we're not remoting into the GPIO pins, but I put it in there anyway, so let's go ahead and do it and see what happens. Remote GPIO, yes, there we go. We can also select audio output and overclocking options. Well, we really can't do overclocking on this one because it's a Raspberry Pi 3. I don't even think it supports overclocking. But let's go to audio output. Where is that at? Audio. Headphones or hi-fi. Hi-fi, I believe, is the HDMI connector, so we're going to make sure we stick with headphones, which I think was already set up for. And what else was there? Overclocking? I don't think we can overclock, really. Yeah, only the wired Pi 1 or 2 can be overclocked. Well, we're not going to bother then. Let's just finish this, and it should ask us to reboot. Well, I thought it would. I guess not. Well, let's go ahead and sudo reboot. Keep thinking there was something else that I was missing, but I'm going to keep doing it like this and see what happens. I know we can expand the file system. Yeah, it's not going to connect yet. It's still rebooting. Come on. There it goes. All right. After the Pi reboots, we'll quickly go into VNC Viewer. Let's see if we can log in. I've already done this earlier just by typing TV test up there, which is the name of this Pi. And it's a brand new connection, so there it is. Isn't that beautiful? Here's our desktop. Okay. Right click anywhere on the desktop and select desktop preferences. We're going to change the layout option to no image. Desktop preferences. I'm on desktop. No image. We also want to change the background to black. It is a Raspberry Pi 3, so it's running slower. Come on. Pretty good color. There we go. Select. Now, I guess one thing I could do is the maximize file system. I might need to add that in there too. So I remember it going faster than this before. And we're going to deselect wastebasket as external disk. We don't want anything to appear on the desktop at all. Then we're going to go to taskbar. Oh, option's not there. Never mind. Just click OK. Close that out. So we changed the color to black. We unchecked the wastebasket external disk. We also want to set the taskbar to auto hide. And this is why we used Raspbian Bullseye. Because in newer versions like Bookworm and on, it doesn't let you do it properly. It doesn't let you do it at all. So let's right click on the taskbar, go to settings, I believe. Nope. Which one is I have it on here? Advanced tab and panel settings. Okay, panel settings. There we go. Panel settings, advanced, minimize panel not in use. And we want to change the size to 0. We want it to be completely gone. See, now it's gone. You can't see it unless you hover over it. Then it appears. That's what we want. because between TVs and commercials and breaks and everything else, you might see the backs, the actual screen for a second as it cuts from show to show to show. We want it to be black. You don't want to see a Linux screen in the background while you're in the middle of watching TV. Okay, Rex here again. Breaking in because I forgot to add something to the install. It's actually about a week later, and I've done the TV tuner video, and I had to make some changes because the TV guide wasn't working correctly. So what I've done is, in section 2, I've added this little instructional. Right after you click OK to close the appearance settings, we need to change the resolution on the screen and make sure that it is set for 1024 by 768. Let's go ahead and bring up the TV. And if we don't do that, if you have a TV guide channel later, everything will be off. Eventually I'll make more TV guide programs for different various resolutions. But for right now, you'll want to change this setting. We're having some bad weather, so I think seeing out in the garage might not be easy. Seems to be lagging a little bit. But we're going to go to the drop-down menu, Preferences, and then Screen Configuration. Yeah, it's not wanting to work very well at all. But Preferences, and click Screen Configuration. Then this window pops up. And it says click Layout in the window that appears, and then select Screens from the drop-down menu. So we're going to click Layout, Screens. Got some updates to install, I guess. It's popping up in the top right there. And then a little window called HDMI should appear over here whenever it feels like it. Come on. I'm like really lagging here. I don't know if it's the weather or not. Oh well, either way, now it's starting to do things I clicked a minute ago. You click the layout button, it appears, and select Screens from the drop-down menu, which you just saw. And then from Screens, there'll be an HDMI option that pops up, and that's the only option that I know of, unless you have a Raspberry Pi 4. Well, now it's wanting to work. Well, it started to work, then it stopped. HDMI up here, HDMI 1. If you have like a Raspberry Pi 4 or 5, I think there's only 2 of them. And then there'll be a resolution option over here with a bunch of resolutions. You'll click the, there it is. Gosh, it's going slow. You'll click the 10 by 2, there it is, resolution. Bam, click it one more time. Let's see what happens here. Don't uncheck any of these because this is our active and primary display. We want to keep that. Frequency, orientation, all that is fine. Here in a second, a bunch of resolutions will pop up. And we'll make sure that 1024 by 768 is selected because it wasn't originally on this monitor. The monitor I have plugged into it now is a high resolution. The monitor on my prototype is the correct resolution. That's why I programmed it for that resolution. Come on. And that is the resolution the TV guide is currently set for. Right there. And then afterwards, after we click that, a little window will pop up asking you, are you, can you see your screen properly? Are you sure you want to keep this resolution? And you have, and it counts down from, I think, 10 to 15 seconds. And just click OK to that so it doesn't default. There it is. And then afterwards, see, it's not going to pop up that window because I was already at that resolution. But after you close that little window that will appear, then you click OK or Apply. Oh, there it is. Screen updated. Click OK if it's correct or cancel the revert previous setting, and it's counting down. I'm just going to click OK. It doesn't really matter. and then I click closed. And then your resolution will be the proper resolution. Okay, we also want to disable the Raspberry Pi screensaver. That just basically turns it off after like 5 minutes or so. Go to the main drop-down menu, Preferences, Raspberry Pi Configuration. Preferences, Raspberry Pi Configuration. And click Raspberry Pi Configuration. Once the configuration window appears, go to the Display tab and uncheck Screen Blanking. So we don't want that anymore. It'll ask to reboot when you click OK. Just go ahead and let it. Ta-da! You want to reboot? Yes. It'll disconnect now. Well, I thought it would. We'll go ahead and close that. Yep, it's rebooting. We're good. I'm surprised that didn't close. I'm going to go ahead and close it myself. Next, we're going to boot up a VLC media player and change some settings in it, because that's actually what's going to show your TV show. I'm going to rearrange some of these instructions. Alright. So the next one, we need to boot up. We need to load VLC and make some changes in it, and we're going to run it from a terminal. Because when I run it from this drop-down menu sometimes, I'll make the changes and I'll close it, but then when you run it from the terminal, those changes aren't saved. They're not still there. Maybe it's because we're running it from two different places. But the TV runs it from the terminal in the background, so that's what we want. This is going much slower than normal. VLC. That's all we have to do. Ta-da! Okay. Make the following changes from the menu. Click Tools and Preferences. We want to go to Subtitles. Enable on-screen display. Show media title and video start. We do not want that. We don't want the screen display either. Then go to the Audio tab. We're going to click Save first, and then go back in. I don't think you have to, but I'm going to anyway. Audio tab, we want to click Normalize Volume 2, and we're going to leave it at 2. Those instructions right there. And then we're going to click Save, close that, and we'll just exit out of the terminal. Okay, next we're going to do this other stuff from PuTTY. Let's minimize that. Let's go back into PuTTY. TV test. Type in my username and password. There we go. This just seems to work a lot faster. Okay. We're going to get rid of the low voltage display. Sometimes it's like a little power bolt that appears. We don't want that appearing while we're watching TV. Most of the time you're going to have enough amperage as it is. Right now I probably don't. I'm using an old phone charger to run this thing out in the garage. I'm surprised it hasn't shown anything. But we're going to remove that, keep that from appearing by editing the configuration for Raspbian. And we're going to paste this all the way at the bottom. So we'll just hold down the down key, go all the way to the bottom of the document, paste that, and then we're going to save it. Control X, Y for yes, enter, done. Sudo reboot. again. There it goes. Then we're going to go down to section 3. Section 3 will be installing the web server, installing the database program, which is basically just SQL, MySQL, and install the file sharing so that we can actually go in from our desktop remotely and edit and add things. And then Python should already be installed, but we'll also install a couple little things that run with Python. Let's try to go back in. Might not be booted completely yet. Nope, there it goes. And my password. Ta-da! Alright, let's scroll back up, section 3. Let's install Apache by selecting this command. Enter. This will take just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and select this one to install, or to restart the service after it installs. I don't know why I have that in there, but I'm going to do it anyway. I put it in there, chances are I put it in there for a reason. It's been so long since I wrote these instructions, I don't remember what does what half the time. I'm going to pause this while it installs. I don't know how long it'll take. Okay, Apache finally finished installing, so let's go ahead and restart the service. Like I said, I don't know why I put that in there, but I'm going to do it anyway. If you want to go to the web browser on your PC and type in RetroTV's IP address, well, we don't have the IP address off the top of our head, but we can just type in the name of the Pi with a /, and it should load the test page. There it is, Patch 2, Debian default page. This is the one document that it has currently saved. Put that off to the side. Alright, so that means it worked. So next we're going to install the database program, which is MariaDB Server. Let it do its thing. Sure you want to continue? Yes, I do. This one I don't think takes nearly as long. Okay, let's go ahead and run sudo MySQL secure installation. Enter current password for root, which is my Pi password. Okay, answer no to switch to Unix socket authentication, so N for no. Yes to change root password. Now we type in our new password. I've learned you can retype in the same old password that's used before, and it should take it. Alright. Yes to remove anonymous users. There are no anonymous users anyway. No to disallow. Yeah, so we want to log in remotely, so we're going to click no to this one. Yes to both remove test database and access to it. We don't need either one of those, so reload privileges tables now. Yes, that just means it's restarting. So there we go. Good to go. And I've already done this one, but I'm going to go in there and show you how to do it. Originally, this bind address said 127.0.0.1, which is, your home address. I changed it to all zeros. So I had to go back and redo something, so I'm showing you this part again. and then we exit out of the document. I don't have to save it because I didn't change anything. Now we're going to try to go in and actually work in SQL to create a user and give it access to the table that's going to be there. We'll see if it works this time. Type in the password that we made, and we're in. Okay. The user TV access with password changes is the user and password that the TV program uses to go in and do everything in the database. So we're going to highlight all of this, including the semicolon, because that's the format that SQL uses. Query OK. That means it took it. So now it has a user called TV access with password changes. We're going to grant privileges on that to a database called 90s TV. We have not put that database in yet, but we're going to go ahead and enter this now. That way it's already there. Query OK. Flush privileges. Basically this, flushes everything. Oh wow, I didn't even click enter. I just right clicked. Do it again. Yeah. And it just automatically took it. Okay. We're going to exit. Enter. Bye. Now we're back in Raspbian again. Alright. Let's go and install PHP to MySQL, which is basically a small script program, whatever, that allows PHP, which is your web server, to talk to SQL so you can actually access the database. Don't think that won't take long at all. While we're waiting on that, oh, yes, to continue, I actually have something else that I can do. Let me find my links to where these files were saved. Let me make sure I deleted them. Yep, they're not on my desktop anymore. Good. I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit because when I save these files, I'm going to move them over here. Let's go off screen and find, is it this one? Yes, it is. A document called links. All right. These are the 3 files that you have to download to use Rexus TV. Now that's done. We're going to pause on that for just a second. Let's bring this web browser back up, which has our test page on it still. I'll put these links on YouTube and possibly somewhere else if I ever find out where I want to put them. First, we're going to download storage. This is the biggest file. It still downloads fairly quickly. Paste and go. There it is. This is a little over half a gig. And this holds the format and 3 video files for the RetroTV. This download is starting. There it is. Is it done yet? It is done. Okay. Here it is. I'm going to copy it right to the desktop. Let me move that over a little bit. There it is. Okay, next one is the actual website. Download that. That's fairly small, 1.19 meg. And there it is. We'll move it there. And last is the blank database. Not truly blank, but blank enough. It's got a couple things in there that are needed. That's only 28.56 kilobytes. And it's trying to advertise me things. There, we close all that. We don't need it. Here's our blank database. We'll put that right there. Okay. Let's blank that back out. Close that. Close that. Don't need it anymore. All right, where are we on our instructions? We need to set up Samba. This is the file sharing program. That way I can actually go in remotely from any computer and see the web page, see my storage. So let's copy that. Install Samba. Yes. Yes, we want to do that. All right. And then we're going to go in and edit the configuration file for Samba as soon as it's done. This one shouldn't take nearly as long. I'm going to delete a few things in there that I'm not putting in the instructions just because I don't want to see them when I go in. But when Samba installs, it automatically shows you a certain amount of system files and whatever printers are connected to the Raspberry Pi. We're not connecting printers, and we don't want to see the system files either. We only want to see the website and whatever storage medium we have our shows in. That's all we want to see. Some people might want to see more. I don't. So in this video, you get the benefit of watching me not really delete them, but comment them out. That way we don't have to see them. This is taking a lot longer than I thought it would. Come on. What else we got after that? We install Samba, we set it up, and then we do a couple things for Python. Python should already be installed, so then we just install Python to VLC, which is something that needs to be able to control VLC properly, and FFmpeg, it needs to run certain things on VLC as well. And then we'll also install unclutter, which hides the mouse while we're working, or while it's not being used, because you don't want to see a mouse cursor over top your TV shows. So let's scroll back up here and wait for this to finish. Okay, that's finally done installing. So let's go edit the configuration file. Alright, here we are. This is configuration for Samba. I'm going to scroll down to the first thing in brackets and comment everything out after it. There it is. Homes. This is what shows you all the home directories. We don't want to see that. At least I don't. You might. So let's comment all this out. I don't think I have to comment that out. Printers. This is another one we're going to comment out because there will be no printers attached to it, but it'll still show this folder. I don't think I really have to comment this one out, but I'm going to anyway. Okay. So, next we want to put in the website, because this is where the website is stored. It'll call it website. It'll make it writable, and it'll give you access to everything. So we're going to copy that in there. Next, I'm going to put in storage. This needs to be changed here to whatever you name your thumb drive, hard drive, or whatever to. Right now, I've named mine 90s TV with, lowercase s to capital TV. So I can put that in there. But if you have this incorrectly, then it's going to look in the wrong place. So after that, I'm just going to save it. Yes, enter, and out. Alright, next we need to make a password for it. The username is going to be Pi. Type in whatever password you want to put in there twice. And added user, Pi. And there you go. Next, we're going to restart that service. And then we'll try to log into it from the computer. Let's open up a new Explorer window, come over here, / TV test, / there it is. It is not asking me for a password right now because I've already done this once before with another installation and the exact same name and username and password. So, but it'll ask you in a window, type in your username and password and whether it wants to remember you. You definitely want to do that. So if I click on website, it'll show me that one document. Bingo, right there. That was our test page for Apache. If I click on storage, it should take me into a thumb drive that I already have plugged in. Now, before we continue with the instructions, I'm going to walk you through that real quick. Let me go back up, TV test. This storage document, or zip file, the big one that we downloaded, this is the format that your thumb drive or your hard drive or whatever you keep your shows on should be in. All you have to do is select these and copy these over to a nicely formatted drive. FAT32 is fine. And this is where you keep your shows, and it has three programs already in there. Sign off static and static for channels that are offline, and then an offline video, which is annoying. See, it's only 15 minutes long. These are hours long. You'll put your movies in here. Your TV shows will be in their own folders, and I'll show you an example of that because I've already done it. And music videos you can put in here. Identifications we're not going to get into just yet, but that is for like TV breaks, things that play between your show and the commercials. Snippets is for like the HBO channel or a movie channel you have. When the movie's done and there's a ton of space before the end of the hour, it'll play 3 commercials and then a snippet, and then 3 commercials and then a snippet, 3 commercials and a snippet, and it'll fit it all into the allotted time. And snippets are usually like behind the scenes things that I got off of DVDs. And of course, commercials. These you can ignore. I don't even really think they're used anymore, but I'm leaving them in there because they're small, and I can't remember if I removed them or not. But basically, this is 1 blank second. This is 2 blank seconds, 3 blank seconds of video. So I'm going to close that, and let's go into storage and see what mine looks like. There it is. This we don't need. That's left over from Windows, but Linux sees it as a legitimate file. But this is what I put in here so far. I put in a bunch of commercials. It's a fraction of what I have on my actual TV. I just kind of selected a bunch and copied them over. And then under shows, we can ignore the movies folder, but I put in Northern Exposure, Police Squad, which is only 6 episodes. Northern Exposure has chapter markers in their files. Let me turn that down. But you can see them, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, and it'll use that to put in commercial breaks. Usually about 1 every 15 minutes or so. I put DuckTales in, which do not have set commercial breaks or chapter markers. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which is only 15 minutes long, so that doesn't need commercial breaks. American Dad, I put some episodes in, and 5 episodes of Afro Samurai. These also do not have chapter markers, I believe. No. And that's all I put on this drive so far. I guess I don't really need this folder either. I'm going to delete it and see what happens. Yep, don't need it. As long as it's running on Linux, it does not need those folders. Those folders are automatically put in when you plug it into a Windows machine. Let's close that out. Okay. So we're done with Samba now. We can go in and edit our files. So let's verify we have Python installed, which I know for a fact we do because all Rasmian comes with Python installations. Yep, there it is. Python 3.9.2, and we've already updated it when we first installed everything. So we do not need to run this command because it is installed. So we're going to continue to make Python interact properly with SQL. So we're going to run this command, Python 3 to MySQL. Shouldn't take very long. After that, we're going to run this command to give proper read and write permissions to where we keep our web pages. And then we're going to run a couple small scripts that install things for Python. The Python-VLC and this ffmpeg to Python. Both of these help it control VLC better. So first we're going to run this one for permissions. That runs pretty quick. And we're going to run this one and upload Python to VLC. I believe this is needed most for the TV guide, which we will not mess with in this video, but go ahead and install it to begin with. Because if you ever put a TV tuner on and you make a TV guide channel, it's going to need that. There we go. So let's install this ffmpeg to Python, which it does need to run even the most basic RetroTV. And then we're going to put in unclutter. That's what makes the mouse cursor disappear from your desktop when it's not being used. And then we need to go into the auto start document. Once unclutter is done installing, and we're going to make it so unclutter actually starts, like when the file system starts. You can get away with not putting unclutter on there, but you're going to see your mouse cursor on occasion, and who wants to see that when they're watching TV? This isn't going to be used as a computer, it's going to be used as a television. Alright, let's go in and edit that auto start file. There should be a few things in it. As soon as it loads, there it is. At the very end, we're going to put this uncluttered -idle 0. Right click to paste, Control X. Do you want to save? Yes. Enter. Done. Alright, let's reboot so that everything takes effect. Section 4, we don't need that. There we go. Section 4 we do not need. This is for remote IR, infrared, which we're not going to mess with today. I still haven't even got it to work right. And a small display, which is neat to have, and this is set up to use, but we're not going to mess with it today either. So let's skip to 5, which will be uploading the database. Let's see if we're up yet. I'm going to stick this down here because we're not really going to use it. I just want to make sure the Pi is running. Yeah, I typed in the password wrong. There we go. Okay, so next, upload the database. Now we go into MySQL, or HeidiSQL, I'm sorry, which is one of the programs at the beginning of the document that you should probably install. And we're going to go into TV test. No, we don't want to make any changes to what's saved. Okay, so this is our whole blank database for the RTV test. We want to open up, where's that? Oh no, we don't want to open it, it's right there. Do I drag and drop it? Nah, let's go to run. We want to go to file and run. Let's make sure we're following the instructions properly. You know, log into your Pi using TV access and password changes. I already had all that saved in there, so I apologize. You didn't see me type it in. But all this is in the document to bring everything up. Go to File, then Run SQL File. That's what I did. Choose the file blank.sql, which is this one right here. So let's go to desktop, and we'll just type in blank.sql. Now, when I click Open, a bunch of text will scroll at the bottom. Once it stops, it says close HeidiSQL and then restart it. I can also refresh it. After the restart, the entire 90s TV database should be visible. So let's click Open. And there's all that text at the bottom. There it goes. It's doing its thing. Now I can shut this down and restart it like the instructions say, or I can right click here and go refresh. There it is. 90s TV. We've got our active schedule, which should be empty. Our blocks, which is also empty because I haven't started working on this yet. Our breaks, which is the stuff between the TV shows and commercial breaks. Our channels, which there is 90 or 100 of them actually. It goes down to 99, but there's also 0. Rex TV is the only active channel at the moment, and that's channel 1. When you're using this with no TV tuner and you have it set up for single channel, it's only going to play channel 1. Our commercials, blank. We have not put anything in. Music videos, blank. Our schedule is blank. Our schedule template is blank. Like everything is pretty much blank. Seasons, these are the 3 files that were already in there. Static, sign on static, and offline. It should also be those. Yep, those are the only ones in shows. Snippets, those are the little behind the scenes stuff that runs between movies on a whatever movie channel you have running. Our TV guide, which is blank because there's nothing there. And users, which is not encrypted. You can change whatever user you want to use to log into the web page here. So right now we just have the name is capital A admin and the password is lowercase admin. Let's go ahead and close that. Next we're going to upload the website, which is this right here. Let's go ahead and bring it up. Ta-da! The big, huge website that I spent years writing. Let's go into a new file explorer window. Let's go back to our TV test file system. Let's go to website, and this is that one document that loads. Let's bring this back up. TV test. That's all it is. This one document is this. So let's minimize that. Let's delete that. Alright. Delete what is currently there. That's what we just did. Then copy all the contents of the zip file to the place of the file you just deleted. Let's bring that back up. Let's go back to our website. Let's select all of this and drag and drop it. And let it do its thing. And there it is. That's our website. Let's bring this back up and let's refresh it. Ta-da! Check that out. Welcome to 90s TV Programming Guide. Let's go ahead and log in and make sure it works. Type in login, capital A, admin. Password is lowercase admin, unless you changed it. There's nothing under TV Guide. When we can log back out, it welcomes you here. Let's check our hardware, our boot status. It is red because it is currently set to not boot into the television. TV configuration is unable to open the file because the TV is set not to run at the moment. It's something I'm going to fix. Once we have it set to run, it'll show you how you've got this configured, which currently is a single channel with no tuner. And of course, from here we can also reboot and shut down. I don't think that'll work just yet because we need to run a couple commands to make that possible to work. Let's minimize this. Actually, let's log out. It waits a couple seconds and takes you back. There you go. Let's minimize that. Alright, I think I can close this completely. I can close that completely. Cron job section. This sets up the ability for the RetroTV to run the scheduling properly every night. And I have it set to do it at 1 o'clock. So we're going to go ahead, let's make this bigger, and run this command, cron tab-e. And there is no cron job set yet, so it's going to ask me how I want to create this file, what program I want to use. So let's paste that and enter. Select and enter. We're going to use one, and that's Nano. That's what we've been using so far in this video. Ta-da! There we go. Let's scroll all the way at the bottom. And we're going to insert this line, which tells it to run at 0 minute, 1 hour, every day of the week, every day of the month, every year, this program, which is remote create day all. We can change that all to just one channel if we want to, but I can just put one in there and this should still work just fine. But I'm going to leave it as all just because it's generic, it's easy, it works. Alright, Control X, yes, enter, it's all set up. Okay, this is the stuff that makes the program be able to reboot the TV from the web page and do things that you need to do, edit file systems, scan folders on the thumb drive and all this. This is something that I even put on here. The Linux community frowns upon this. This kind of makes your Pi unsecure, but as long as it's on your home network, behind a firewall, or if it's not plugged in at all, who cares? And you're not going to keep anything important on this Pi. This is not going to have tax documents or vital information. This is just going to be your TV. So I went ahead and did this anyway. So first we're going to go into Edit, the Apache 2 environment variables, which is the web page, the web server. We're going to change the user that it uses, which is right here. Apache run user and Apache run group is currently www.data or -data for both of them. We're going to change that to Pi. So it's going to use the same root user that we use. Like I said, Linux community is probably cringing their heads off right now, hear me say that, and probably screaming at me while I'm doing this. But for this device, it doesn't really matter. It's not that important. So we changed both of those. We're going to save this document. And we also want to run a couple commands so that it has access to do the things that it needs to do. One of these is giving it full access to sessions, which when you log in to your website and you're going from page to page to page, it's remembering sessions. Now, it was doing that fine earlier, but when I did this 2 days ago and made my first video, which I've scrapped, it didn't want to do it. And I ran this command and this fixed it. So I'm going to go ahead and run this command. Maybe you can get away with not doing that. I think I can too, because it just let me do it a minute ago when you saw me go from web page to web page here. I'm going to do it anyway. So I don't want to have trouble later on. And I don't want you to have trouble later on. And then we're going to restart Apache 2, which is, of course, the web server, so that all the changes that we made take effect. Now, the way to test this is right here. Let's go ahead and log back in. Now we're going to go down to hardware, and we're going to try to actually reboot the TV. It's rebooting. So that means it worked. Yep, and it just booted me out of PuTTY. That means the Pi shut down. So we're good. Give it a second to reboot. And we'll try to reload the web page. That means that all worked. So let's go ahead and scroll down to section 7 here, which is the last section. All right, and we're going to tell Raspbian to auto start the TV each time it boots. So we're going to go in and create an auto start program that'll just start tv.py every time the Raspbian boots up. Currently, tv.py doesn't exist. When the TV is disabled, it changes the file name so that it tries to run it, but there's nothing there to run because we haven't put anything in yet. I mean, I put my shows and everything in, but we haven't yet to scan for anything. So let's go ahead and click refresh. Oh no, we don't want to do refresh. Oh, well, I didn't want to do refresh. I just did it. That might have just restarted the TV again. Hopefully not. Let's click stop. Let's give it a minute. After we do this, and I might just go ahead and add an extra section on here, I'm going to show you how to scan for your commercials and for your shows. That is something that this will do automatically. Scanning takes a long time the more files you have. The way I have this now, it should scan fairly quickly, but on my current TV that I'm using, my prototype, I've got 4 terabytes of files. So if I click scan for like shows, it'll run for easily 30 minutes. All right, let's click in there and see if we are up yet. There it is, we're up. Let's try it actually let me log in, or kept me logged in. We don't need these anymore. I'm going to go ahead and delete those so I can take that space. We'll just move that right there. Okay, let's go into PuTTY so we can edit this auto start. I think I just fat fingered the keyboard again. I'm just going to hit enter. There we go. New password. Let's show me what we'll God, are you going to work? Well, that's weird. There it goes. Just didn't know whether it wanted to work or not. Okay, so we're going to run this command first. It makes the directory for auto start. Each version of Linux, they seem to change the way you auto start things, and it drives me nuts. This is how you do it. I know for a fact for, I think, what is this, Bullseye? Alright, we're going to run this, and this actually creates the file tv.desktop and lets you edit it. It's completely blank. So we're going to select all of this to go in here. And this is, let's go ahead and show you, desktop entry, type, application, name, TV, the executable, it runs Python, it tells Python to run tv.py. So let's save that and close it. And it says here, sudo reboot. You know what I'm going to do? Let's go to hardware. Let's go to reboot again. Just because we can. And it says right here, rebooting. And the web page actually came up, but the TV is out there rebooting, so we're good. We'll give it a chance to do that, and then let's scan for commercials and shows, which I've already put on there. And it tells you here, at this point the TV is set up and will work, but the function to start the script that actually runs the TV is disabled in the hardware section. That's where I told you where it said, you know, the red dot. It'll turn green when you click enable. If you enable it, reboot the TV, then it'll run the programming set up automatically on the next boot and play nothing but static on all channels. So you may want to set up all of your shows and commercials before doing that. That's what we're going to do. Are we rebooted? I know better than to click refresh now. There we go. We are rebooted. Let's go to videos, edit commercials, scan drives for new commercials. And that scans that drive I've already got plugged in. Give it a moment. This one should not take too terribly long because there's not that many commercials yet. And then we have to set up the commercials to actually work on channel 1 and all day. That's something I need to edit to make that easier for everybody. Because right now you have to do it one at a time and it's a pain in the butt. But part of this TV, the way I have it set up is, yes, there's some complicated things. Some things are a little pain. I try to automate some things for you. But I wanted my TV to be customizable. I want to be able to make a channel that does exactly what I want. I can have a channel that's dedicated to the 80s, one that's dedicated to the 90s, and on and on and on. One that's only movies, one that's only, you know, music videos, or intermix them if I wanted to. I want to put commercial breaks where I want to put them. So, this is taking a little longer than I thought. Let's go into, so we can see what it's doing, Heidi SQL. Let's go ahead and load our database. Let's go to commercials. There they are. Look at that. They're appearing. So, yep, as this is running, more and more commercials are appearing. Right now it's got 62. If I click refresh, yep, we're down to 77. If I click refresh again, 84. So it's scanning through and inserting them all a little bit at a time. I'm going to minimize that and leave it up. There it is. Commercials that were added. Even a commercial for Futurama. Okay, and you can download a list of what was scanned and what was added if you want to. That list is overwritten every time you do it. Let's go to videos, edit shows and movies, scan for new shows. Let's bring our database back up. Let's go to shows. Look at that. It's already got all of Afro Samurai scanned. Let's refresh it. It's now scanning Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And it's showing each episode of Afro Samurai has one commercial break at the 720-second mark. That's the generic commercial break for a half-hour show. If it doesn't find any chapter markers, it just inserts generic ones. And you can go in and edit them later if you want to. Which I have a video about that, I believe, already posted on YouTube. So refresh again, more Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I'm waiting for it to get Northern Exposure, because Northern Exposure has actual chapter markers because they're MPEG files ripped straight from a DVD of mine. And that'll show you that it actually does find legitimate commercial breaks if there's chapter markers already in the file, which makes it a lot easier for you if you want to just use your own DVDs, or if you want to source them from somewhere else. I don't judge. It's still running in the background. Let's refresh again. More Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I can't remember how many's on there. The length of each show is different. They do not have commercial breaks because they're only 15 minutes long. Technically. I mean, they're shorter than that. But I mean, if you ever watched Adult Swim back in the day and you watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force and other shows like it, you know they didn't have commercial breaks because they were just too short. Harvey Birdman and stuff like that. Alright, now we're into DuckTales. Oh, DuckTales is long, I remember that. These do have commercial breaks. They're half-hour long. And these commercial breaks are not set either. Because I actually got these off of generic DVDs that I bought off of eBay that did not have chapter markers on them. I'm pretty sure that they were not legitimate copies. But the files were on there, that's all I cared about. I think there's around 70 of them, maybe more. Under 100. You can only put 100 of each season on here, 100 episodes. So if you find something like Dragon Ball Z and there's more than 100 episodes per season, you got to do some finagling. Yeah, there's 65 in season 1. And then there's very few episodes on season 2, I remember. Well, at least I thought there was. Already up to 25. Oh. There we go. Now we're in American Dad. Same thing. Half-hour long shows. One commercial break, and it's putting a generic one in there. Because these are AVI files, and they do not have chapter markers. As you can tell, I mean, I have very little on this drive, and it's taking its own sweet time. It does it a file at a time. So if you have a full 4 terabytes of shows on your TV and you click scan, it's going to take a while. And this one will also scan movies. If you put movies in the movie folder, it'll scan those as well. And it'll properly name them, whether they're 2-hour-long movies or 3-hour-long movies, and it'll throw in commercial breaks the same way. If there's chapter markers, it'll do what it needs to do. If there's not, it'll put generic ones in there. There we go, Northern Exposure. This is what I was waiting for. Northern Exposure, I ripped straight from a DVD, and it does have chapter markers. So it went in there and found actual legitimate commercial break spaces for the TV show. There it is. It's done. All right. Police Squad. There's, yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything here either. Nope, it put generic markers in there. It's an old half-hour long TV show that the Naked Gun movies were made after. Let's close that. It shows me everything that was scanned, including the 3 files that it already had, and the movies directory. And this shows me everything that was added, which you've already seen. It has Afro Samurai, 5 episodes, and a season record for it, and Aqua Teen Hunger Force. You know, you scroll all the way down there at the bottom, it shows you everything. So, let's go to the main menu. Let's go to channels, edit a channel. Channel 1 is the one that plays when we only have a single channel. We set it up for, it's already pre-set up to show all of these different versions of shows, which we need to go in there and edit those shows. I have it set up to completely play random, which it still uses TV format, you know, every half hour or 15 minutes technically. It'll show something different. Commercial breaks within shows and movies. Yes, if you have it like an HBO channel or you want the movie to play straight all the way through and then play snippets towards the end, you'll take this off. Is this channel active? Yes, this is the only channel that's active, and currently the abbreviation for the channel is Rex. You can change that to be whatever you want it to be, and name too. Let's cancel that. We don't need to do anything. There are no commercials available for the channel yet. We need to set those up. Let's go to videos, commercials, view commercials, not assigned. Yeah, they're not going to appear in there just yet. Let's go to videos, commercials, view all commercials. That's what we want. This is what I told you I need to automate. Each commercial you can make play during a special event, like the month of Halloween, the month of Thanksgiving, you know, October, November, the month of Christmas, December, Valentine's Day, which is currently when this video is filming. It'll be like the 15 days around Valentine's Day. 4th of July, it's just that maybe the one day and a couple days leading up to it, I think. I can't remember. Back to school, I think, is the month of August. Summer is basically the months of summer, the months of winter. Fall is any time. I think it's actually September, the month of September, and spring, you know, from March to through April, I think. I can't remember, or just any. I'm just gonna leave these all as any. And this is the times of day that it will play: late, morning, afternoon, or prime. These are 6-hour increments from midnight to 6 a.m., from 6 a.m. to noon, from noon to 6 p.m., and from 6 p.m. to midnight. We want all these checked. I'm probably going to pause this video while I do this, and the channels that you want to play on will be after this. Right now we only have one active channel, so it's only showing it. So now the trailer for Dark City will play any time of the year, any time of the day on channel 1, and you can also pick the day that you want to play. So if you want certain G.I. Joe toy commercials to play only in the afternoons when kids come home from school, you can set this to any. You set the time to afternoon, and then uncheck Sunday and Saturday, and just have Monday through Friday. That's why I made this TV. I want it to be completely customizable. So I'm going to pause this now and check all of these. Okay, I checked the first section because we can only save these 10 at a time, because as we get more channels, PHP can only handle a certain number of variables when you save a web page. So I had to isolate this to save 10 videos at a time. Another thing that sucks, but what can you do? Go back to view all. Alright, I'm going to go through and edit like 2 more of these, and then we'll move on to the TV show or shows, and then we'll progress from there. Okay, I went ahead and did 3 bunches of these. I'll let the second Dragon Ball Z one undone because I don't want 2 Dragon Ball Z commercials playing back to back. The way I have this set up on my other TV is I think this plays one time a day and this one plays another time a day or something like that. I can't remember why I did that. It was probably before I updated it to have days of the week. Or maybe it plays various times of the year. I'd have to go in and look. But the way my RetroTV works is that it never plays the same commercial twice in the same commercial break. It only plays one of each commercial randomly that it finds that's allowed in that time slot to play then. So let's go ahead and exit out of this. We've got 3 bunches of commercials. That should be more than enough. Let's go to videos, TV shows, and now we want to set up the types of our TV shows. You can do this individually here, edit entire show's type, or you can edit all show types all at once. This can take a long time when the more shows you have, and I've got a little warning up here, saving can take a while. But since we don't have that many shows, I'm not too worried about it. So Let's Afro Samurai. We want to tell what type of show it is. It's an anime. American Dad. It's a funny cartoon. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Another funny cartoon. DuckTales. A serious kind of cartoon. It's not pure comedy. Northern Exposure. It's kind of a comedy drama. Police Squad. A sitcom. And that's it. Sign off static and static. We're going to leave as not applicable because we're not going to use those. We don't want those airing on our random channel. Click save. And that didn't take long at all because that was not much. I am going to go into the database to double check to make sure that they worked, because the other day I had an issue with, I think it was Northern Exposure. Didn't save. It only saved half of them. And I don't know why, and I want to see if it does it again. Let's scroll all the way to the bottom where Northern Exposure was. Yeah, it didn't. I need to find out why that didn't work. I'll make sure I figure this out and have this fixed. Because it did all the rest of them. Changed them all to sitcom, changed these to drama. Huh. You know what? Let's leave that there. Let's go on and do a show at a time. Now you can see what this looks like anyway. Let's go to Northern Exposure, continue, and it says it's the drama. I'm going to change it to not applicable. Should go pretty quickly. Let's refresh this and see what it does. Yep, changed them all to nil, which is what it was supposed to do. Let's go in there again and see if it does the same thing. You're watching me debug. How do you like that? It changes. Did it change them all to drama? Nope. So something about season 1, episode 5, 6, 7, and 8. It did not want to change. Well, I will go in there and try to figure that out and see what the problem is. But for now, just for the sake of setting this up, because it worked with everything else. You know, episodes 5 and 6 of Police Squad changed. Episodes, 5 through 7 of American Dad changed. And DuckTales. So something about Northern Exposure. I do not know why. So we'll just ignore that. I'll go in and try to find out what the problem is, but it shouldn't affect you. I hope. I say that. I'm going to go ahead and close this. We don't need it anymore. You want to save this? Yeah, I made some changes. Might as well save it. Okay. So we went in there and changed that. Channels are set up for random. Right? Random shows, movies instead of schedule. Okay. Well, let's go in. I can actually set up the TV now. Boot status. Enable. Now if we go into boot status, it's green. We're ready to go. TV configuration should now show. Yep. See, it says it's set for an 11-pole tuner. We want single channel. Let's make sure that took. Hardware, TV configuration, single channel. Yep. Alright, so we're good to go on that. If I reboot the TV, it'll start setting up channel 1. It'll sit there black forever as it's setting up the channel for the entire week and deciding what it's going to play for the next 2 days. We don't want that just yet. I mean, I do. You can do that easily. No problem. But I'm going to go in here and click Right Scheduling for TV. Choose a channel 01 Rex TV. And I'm going to run it from here. And it'll show me the results when it's done. This could take a little while. It'll probably take about anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. Okay, here we are with the results. Just ignore this top half. I need to uncomment that or comment that out in the code. That's just showing as a test what times or what blocks of the day was running. But these are the shows that it's playing completely random. Northern Exposure, DuckTales, Afro Samurai, blah, blah, blah. And it's for the next 2 days, I believe, and tells you how many seconds were filled. So the process is complete for channel 1. All right. Now what I'm going to do next is actually reboot the TV, and it should run. And then we're going to pick this up outside and actually show the TV. Now, I'll just click reboot. Before I go outside, let's let it reboot for a second. I want to go look at the TV guide and I want to show you something. Because channel 1 is set for completely random, that means shows are completely shown out of order. There's a different way to make a TV channel from the scheduling section to where it just plays a marathon of shows all day long, but it shows them in proper order, starting from a random episode. Let's wait a couple seconds and hope this reboots. Let's click TV guide, see what happens. It's probably not done yet. It'll also be booting into the TV, which means it'll slow down just a little bit. Yeah, it's still not done. Come on. Yeah, it's going to take a minute. There it goes. Yep, every single one of these episodes, the season and the episode number is random. But this shows you right here that it's playing them in the half-hour or 15-minute increments. So at midnight, Northern Exposure came on. At 1 o'clock, DuckTales. At 1:30, Afro Samurai. And then at 2 o'clock, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which is only 15 minutes long. So at 2:15, it played Afro Samurai. Then 2:45, another episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. So at 3 o'clock, it went back around to normal scheduling of Police Squad, Afro Samurai, American Dad. Problem is, there's not many shows to choose from, but I wanted a variety of things so that you could see what it would do. You know, shows with chapter markers, shows without chapter markers, 15-minute long shows. And if you click Rex's TV, it'll show you for the whole week. Come on. Here it is. So today, which is February 12th, shows you what today's schedules. Tomorrow shows you what tomorrow's schedule is. It goes all the way to Saturday. So if we were on Sunday, it would show the entire 7 days. But it'll only show you the day you're on and nothing prior. Alright, let's close out that. And we'll pick this back up outside. Which, when we go outside, it is 3:50. DuckTales should be playing. And at 4 o'clock, an episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force comes on. Okay. So here we are out in the garage. Here's the file we've been working on the whole time. The little drive that I had hooked up to it, where all TV shows and commercials are stored. Speakers. As you can tell, this was ripped from something else. But here's DuckTales playing. And I want to leave this playing for now because I want you to see how it goes to commercial break afterwards. And then plays commercials afterwards. So while that's doing that, and I'll probably have the video muted, you're going to see me over here playing a video game. Ah, show's over. Okay, good. God, I used to listen to this every day when I got home from school. Now we're going to show commercial breaks.
What is happening here? Who are they? The city. Everyone in it is very fast. It makes them match our memories as they see fit.
Now, right now, it's almost 4 o'clock. So 4 will switch over to the next show. I can't remember which one that was. I think Aquatine Hunger Force. But on my prototype TV right now, I've also have breaks playing. So it's actually in Toonami on Rex's TV on my other TV. So it shows little snippets from Toonami in between every commercial break and show. And to the intros to the shows, it also plays, you know, the Toonami intro to that show. Got about 20 seconds left. It'll probably cut this commercial off. I used to try to get it exact so each commercial was finished before the next show started, and it got too complicated. With each Raspberry Pi, the timing was slightly different. And here we are. 4 o'clock. There's Aquatine Hunger Force. I'm just going to leave that playing out in the garage for now as I piddle around with it. And then my next video will be about scheduling properly, so you can actually make your own schedule. And I'll add some shows before I do that, so we actually have something to play with. And then after that, we'll do a TV tuner to add more channels. So that's it for now. Talk to you later.